I must confess that I'm looking nerd fresh. Minty clean like Chris. Sidewalks light up when I step. Batman symbol on my chest. Bruce Wayne fly fresh. So fresh. I'm fresh. Nerd fresh.
Welcome back, watchers of YouTube, to another top 9 list from Street Nerdz. We know that movies and video games are a multi-billion-dollar a year industry respectively, so it would only stand to reason that if you were to combine them, you'd make even more money. But as we all know, video game movies rarely do well, and if you're looking for a list of good video game movies, you're gonna have to check out one of the other guys. Because I am your host, the man who was kicked out of Hogwarts for irresponsible wand waving, Stretch, and this is 9 video game movies that are bad. Number 9, Alone in the Dark, 2.3 IMDb rating. This movie needs no introduction, but I'm going to give you one anyway. Hey kids, do you want a movie starring Christian Slater from 2005 before Mr. Robot gave him a career again? And Tara Reid in a role so miscast no one would care about her until Sharknado 8 years later? Oh, and Steven Dorff? You know, the bad guy from the first Blade movie? No? Well, too bad. Here is Alone in the Dark. Uwe Boll, get used to that name, you're going to hear it again on this list, craps out another movie that has low budget special effects and a story premise so thin you can see how the whole story plays out from the first scene. The monsters look like a xenomorph from the Aliens, and a Deathclaw had a baby and dropped it off in a Generation 1 gaming console. Watching Christian Slater as Edward Camby is like watching a man who knows this is not the high point in his career, but at least there's a paycheck in it. Oh, and it takes more than putting on glasses on Tara Reid to make her believable as a museum curator. This movie sucks, but then you all knew that. Number 8, Pokmon, the first movie, 6.1 IMDb rating. This is the highest rated movie on this list and the one most likely to get the hate in the comments, but come at me. I have listed it here because not only does Pokemon itself function like glorified dogfighting, but a lot of Pokemon have near human level intelligence and understanding, if not full human-like intelligence and understanding. But that isn't even the kicker. The scientists in the movie were cloning a being to be under their control and serve them. So, slaves. You're looking at to breed and control slaves. And that's a big nope from me. I never got into Pokemon, and now that I understand it more, I'm glad I didn't. Don't forget to put your hate in the comments below. Number 7, Far Cry, the movie, 2008, 3.1 IMDb rating. Uwe Boll, see I told you, and this isn't even the last time you're going to hear him on this list, is at it again, this time with Far Cry. Far Cry took its title from the popular gaming series of the same name, and some of the locations do resemble the first 2 games, but all comparisons end there. This was shot and performed like a 1990s USA Network TV pilot. The plot is generic to the point where it felt like a 5th grader was copying the plot from their 5 favorite comic books, and to make it worse, it's boring. Just like a USA TV pilot, this show wasn't going to get picked up. Everything in the story is predictable and cliche. The best I could recommend is to enjoy this movie is to make a bingo game out of it, and even then there should be some good prizes or cash. Number 6, Street Fighter, Legend of ChunLi, 3.7 IMDb rating. What is the best way to tell the story of an undercover Interpol agent that infiltrates an underground street fighting tournament in order to avenge her father by killing his murderer? Why do none of that and make up your own crap, slap the Street Fighter trademark on it and send it out? The main actress acts as if she has forgotten that she can play characters outside of Lana Lang on Smallville. The villain does the best at what he is given and plays the bad guy very well. It's just a shame that bad guy wasn't M. Bison. Other than that, the movie is overall underwhelming in effects and stunts. I hope you don't get dizzy because you could ride the teacups at an amusement park and get the same experience. Number 5, Assassin's Creed, 5.8 IMDb rating. It would seem that the mistakes of ChunLi movie was learned and understood when making the Assassin's Creed movie. Hire a well-known and respected lead actor? Check. Keep the story accurate to the game? Check. Have a fast-paced action scenes and high-budget special effects? Check. So why is it on this list? Well, it is possible to be too accurate to a game. While this is the second highest rated movie on this list, it has some storytelling elements that just don't work. The shifting from the past to the future while in the middle of an action scene creates a jarring tone change. Also, I think most of the fans wanted to see the assassins in the past, while the movie put the focus on the events in the future. Again, not too different than the game, but watching someone play will never be as fun as playing it yourself. I would recommend checking this one out, just don't get too settled into the tone of the movie. Number 4, Wing Commander, 4.2 IMDb rating. I have a riddle for you. What do you get when you take half the cast of Scooby-Doo, put them in space with crappy special effects and zero writing and awful dialogue? Give up? You get Wing Commander the movie. The plot itself just meanders between action scenes that themselves are subpar. And bear in mind, this movie came out several years after Jurassic Park, which made us believe that dinosaurs were real, and Wing Commander barely made me believe that Freddie Prinze Jr. was real. The movie took a video game that I for one enjoyed playing and was looking forward to see, and made it just one more in a long line of crappy video game movies. Shout out to Freddie Prinze Jr. for actually being in a good space show in Star Wars Rebels. This movie is so bad, I actually am plugging another TV show with the same actor in order to get that bad taste out of my mouth. Number 3, Postal, 4.5 IMDb rating. Uwe Boll is on this list again, and we're not even done with him. This attempt at political satire falls short of both being political and satirical. It feels as though someone scanned headlines of a newspaper, thought of offensive jokes that would go along with it, and sent it out on its way. There's almost no context between the parodies of Osama bin Laden and former President Bush, and those aren't even the most offensive things going on in the movie. The game Postal, while not a favorite of mine, did have a certain satirical edge to it, and I can certainly understand the fan base. But anyone who is a fan of this movie, not only do I not want to understand you, I don't really want to share the world with you. This movie is offensive and awful in a way that it could only have chosen to be that way. Number 2, Blood Rain, 2.9 IMDb rating. Finally, we are done with Uwe Boll after this entry. The previous entry, Postal, was offensive to be offensive. This movie is simply boring and phoned in. Almost none of the actors seem to have a care as to what they're saying, and most look as though they're reading off cue cards just off stage. A plot that just drags on and on, going almost nowhere, ticking off every vampire movie and video game cliche it can. Is there an evil boss vampire? Check. Is there an interest between human and vampire? Check. Is it looked down upon because of their forbidden union? Check. Go and read a half dozen other vampire stories or actually play the game Blood Rain and avoid having to deal with this movie and its horrible director. I'm sorry, this is the last entry on this list, and I wanted to get it over with as quickly as I can because this movie sucks. Number 1, Mortal Kombat 2, 3.7 IMDb rating. This movie is on the top 1 position because of one reason. The first Mortal Kombat movie was actually pretty fun. That doesn't mean it was good, it means it was fun. You could enjoy watching the first one, seeing your favorite characters go crazy and beat the ever-loving crap out of one another with catchy one-liners and awesome physical effects. A few subpar special effects, but otherwise a fun movie. Then the second movie came out, Mortal Kombat 2, and it was such a huge disappointment because not only did very few of the original actors not come back, but the special effects, again coming after we were led to believe that dinosaurs were real by Jurassic Park, were laughable and extremely subpar. This so much wasn't a sequel to a movie, but a studio interference and attempt to cash in on an otherwise good brand name. Whew, well, that's my list. Don't forget to check out our Facebook, hit the like, share, and subscribe, do all of the YouTubes that we love so much, and check us out next time at Street Nerdz Top 9 Lists.